We have been working around the clock this election season, getting you prepared for November.
Here's 5 News anchor Daren Bobb with more.
It has been a long campaign season already, and we are just getting started. Joining us is 5 News managing editor Larry Henry to talk about some of the big races. Larry, let's talk about the governor's race. Asa Hutchinson, a big winner. Mike Ross, a big winner. No real surprise here.
No real surprise, but it does set up the big battle for the fall between those two heavyweights. That and the Senate race between Cotton and Pryor are going to be really big points of focus in the November ballot. Yeah, I mean, everybody expected Ross and Hutchinson to win. They did. They won big. And now we go forward with that big race, which is going to garner a lot of attention going into November.
A lot of state races as well, state legislative races. One in particular in the River Valley dealt with Matt Pitch and Bobby Altus. Bobby Altus was supposed to win this race. Matt Pitch is the winner last night.
Yeah, Bobby Altus's dad is a guy who has a long time history there. You know, everybody knows Denny. And these two guys had a very spirited race that centered on some controversies. Pitch ends up winning. He's run before. He won the race, and now he advances without an opponent in the fall. So it's one of the big races in the River Valley in northwest Arkansas that ends up legislatively being decided tonight because there is no one in the fall.
And you and I have talked about this on 5 News Sunday morning a lot about how the legislature, Republicans want to keep control of both the House and Senate. A number of races decided as well in Washington County that will lead to that.
Yeah, a lot of the races up here in Benton and Washington County legislatively really big were decided tonight. Janet De La Rosa won an open seat, a House seat in Benton County. A lot of the incumbents won, Sue Scott, Jim Dotson, and some of those races either don't have a Democratic opponent like the Janet De La Rosa race, or the Republican goes into the fall election with an expected advantage. So yeah, it's going to be really interesting. The River Valley in northwest Arkansas will be at the white hot center in the battle over control of the legislature. You're absolutely right.
We've also talked about this a lot, Larry, on 5 News Sunday morning about how much money is going to be spent, not only, and you mentioned it, in the Tom Cotton, Mark Pryor race, but also now with this Asa Hutchinson, Mike Ross race. There is going to be a ton of money brought in and a lot of national attention on these races.
Well, it's very important. Look, you talk about the Cotton, of course, Republican, Pryor, Democrat. Both of those guys are drawing a ton of money in from outside because control of the U.S. Senate is at stake. Whether Harry Reid will be the majority leader or, you know, McConnell, he's got a battle in Kentucky, but it's going to all sort of center on what happens in Arkansas in that race. And yeah, the governor's race in Arkansas, very, very important. And both of those races are going to pull voters from the Democratic or Republican side. So a lot of money coming into on the Hutchinson and Ross race. Ross, of course, a Democrat, Hutchinson, the Republican.
You and I have a lot to talk about over the next several Sundays, no doubt about that.
It's going to be fun.
All right, Larry, thanks for joining us. 5 News managing editor Larry joining us. Again, we will talk a whole lot more about this as the election in November approaches. All right, Heather, Jay, back to you.